Hello friends, hope you have enjoyed the last video onto the SQL portfolio project. Thank you for showering your love and support to that particular video and to my channel. So I'm again back with a new video onto a new topic, and we'll be doing the SQL portfolio project exploration task, this time onto a new topic, and we'll be covering a lot of different concepts, some of different advanced level concepts. So with each video I'm bringing into this particular playlist for the SQL portfolio project, I'm trying to cover a new concept, and I'm trying to level up from the previous video whatever concepts I've covered. So the intention of this particular video is to help you to retain all the previous concepts which you have covered from the previous video, and also to grab some advanced level concepts. So each of the problem which I've covered into this video will help you to grab one or the other new concept definitely. So friends, if you haven't checked out all of my previous portfolio project, I have attached the link of all of those portfolio projects into the description box of this particular video, so you can check out all those videos and watch all the videos into a sequence. That will definitely help you. Watching all the videos into a sequence will help you to slowly grab all the concepts, and also to learn some new concepts, some advanced level of concepts with every new video. So friends, this video is also very much important from the interview perspective, because into the real interviews you can expect such kind of problems. Definitely I've covered almost all the concepts into this particular video which are necessary for solving the problem, and I also share my thought process which goes on behind while solving any problem. So how to start with a problem, how to tackle a problem, how to break a problem into small parts and to solve each of the parts, and then we can get on to the result. So all of these thought process I have tried to covered into this particular video as well. It will help you to get an idea on how to start with any problem into the SQL. So into interviews you'll be getting problems to solve, so these kind of thought process will help you in that way. Friends, coming back to the video, into this particular video we'll be exploring the data set of Faasos. So the people who do not know what Faasos is, so Faasos is a online food ordering company similar to like Zomato or Swiggy, where we can just order food items and that get delivered to our doorstep. But this specializes into rolls. By rolls I mean the chicken rolls, egg roll, or the veg rolls which you might have eaten. So these kind of roles they specialize into. So we have different kind of data set, a lot of data set. I would just say the most in any of my videos which I've covered till now. These number of data sets will be covering different kind of metrics, different kind of problems, different kind of concepts which goes on to solving all of these problems. We'll be covering everything into this particular video into lot of more detail. So do watch this video till the very end. Also the data set which I have for this particular video is quite different from all the earlier data sets. They were quite simple to the point, but this particular data set it contains some dirty values. So we'll be exploring the data cleaning side of how to handle these missing values, how to handle such dirty data. We will be seeing all of these different concepts also into this particular video. If you are just stuck at a certain point, or if you're not able to understand a certain concept, I would recommend you to watch that part again and again, which is very helpful to you, which you should definitely do to clear all the concept. Or you can comment down your doubts into the comment section of this particular video also. So I give you the full authority to use each and every line of this particular code for your portfolio projects. Also you can explore multiple extra data points from your end, or create beautiful Power BI dashboards from your end also, and that will help you to give a visibility to the recruiters that you know the SQL as well as the Power BI skills. So this will help in that aspect also. But I would request you to just do not copy the code, understand each and every line of the code, whatever we are doing into the code, and then only move ahead. Now before moving forward, the data set is revolving around the different customer orders, customer IDs, also the driver who delivers the order. We have a data set around that also. Also the different roles, as I said, like Faasos, it specializes into the roles. So the different roles they offer, the ingredients that are put into the role. So all of my problems which I've covered into this particular video, I've tried to cover each and every of the data set. Each and every data set is related to each other in some or the other way. So I've tried covering a lot of different concepts into this particular video. So whatever data set I've covered into this video, you can find into the description box. So without wasting much time, let us quickly move to our data set and let us start exploring the Faasos data set. Friends, for this project I have a lot of data sets available and we will be playing around them. I have lot of different type of easy level, medium level, hard level problems into this particular portfolio projects for data exploration, and these problems will be definitely helpful to you because into the real interviews you might be facing such level of problems. So this particular project, this particular video will definitely help you to get in clear understanding on what to expect onto the real interview days. So I would request you to watch this video till the very end so that all your doubts, all your queries are gone, and this particular project will help you a lot because you can practice all the different level problems here into this particular project. Now before moving forward, as usual, I will be giving a brief onto all the data sets which I have available here for this particular project. So you can see onto my screen I have around 1 2 3 4 5 6 data sets, different data points available here, 6 tables available here. I will be quickly explaining each of these 6 data sets into a brief manner, quickly, so sequentially. So first of all, let us quickly look at to the driver here. So into the driver dataset, into the very first column I have the driver IDs and the registration date, like the date on which the drivers they were onboarded onto the Faaso's platform. The second dataset is of the roles. So as you know, Faaso is very much famous, is only famous for roles, so they will be selling roles. So mainly I have considered only 2 type of roles here. Definitely they will be having multiple varieties of roles, but for this particular problem, for this particular project, I have just considered 2 of the different roles. So the first role is the non-veg role, the second role is the veg role, and the third dataset is the roles recipes. Now you will be wondering why are these numbers written here into the ingredients. So the very first column is the role ID. This makes sense. So we had 2 roles. Number 1 is veg role. Number 2 is veg role. Number 1 is non-veg role. So these 2 IDs we are having here, and into the ingredients I have what all ingredients are present into that particular role of that ID. You can see here for role ID as 1 I have all of these ingredients, for role ID as 2 I have these ingredients. Now where are these ingredients coming from, where we will be getting this information? So you can see here this ingredients table. So the ingredients IDs are mentioned and the ingredients names are mentioned here. For example, 7 is onions, 8 is eggs, 9 is pepper. So into this particular role, what all ingredients needs to be mentioned to prepare this role. So these all information are present into the roles recipes. The customer order, now this is pretty much clear. We have been looking forward into all the advanced SQL playlist. These are the customer's order ID, the customer who have purchased the order, the role which has been purchased by the customer for this particular order, and not include items. For example, let's say if I am purchasing role ID as 1 but I don't want the ingredient number as 5 to be put into the role ID, so I can definitely chat on the app that please don't include the ingredient number as 5 into my role because I don't like it. By the way, what is 5? So 5 is kebab. So let's say somebody does not want to include a certain item or a list of items, so they can mention it. For example, for this order ID as 4 into the by the customer ID as 103, the role ID was 1, so the role ID is non-veg role, and the customer does not want to include the item number as 4. What was item number as 4? Cheese. So many people don't like cheese, so this is just a simple information, like I don't want cheese into my role which is being prepared, so the customers they can mention this. Similarly, let's say I don't want to include a certain list of items, so I can definitely tell into the application that, for example, into the order ID is 10, for the customer ID is 104, the role ID was 1 which is the non-veg role, and the customer said that do not include the items 2 and 6. So 2 and 6 was chili sauce and mushroom, so I don't want to include both of these items into the non-veg role, my role. So these all informations can be mentioned. Similarly, if I want to include something extra over the top of all the ingredients which are mentioned from before, So I can mention that information, and all those informations are captured into this particular column, which is the extra items included. So here you will be getting the information of all the extra items which needs to be included into the role, and this is simply the order date on which the order was put by the customer. Now after the order has been placed, this is the information where all the information for the drivers, whether the driver has delivered the order, whether the order was cancelled by the driver or something else, all these informations are mentioned here. So the order ID, so these order IDs were picked by which driver ID, so all these driver information was present here. As you can see, what was the pickup time of the order, and what is the distance the driver has traveled to deliver the order, so this information is present here. The duration, the time which took to deliver this particular order, so this information is present here, and whether this particular order was cancelled or not. So NAN means nothing, I guess, and cancellation. So this particular order ID is 6, it was cancelled. This particular order was cancelled by the customer. So these all informations are present here. Then into kilometers, and the duration which you can see here, these are in minutes. Also the cancellation, so you can see here into the cancellation there are two types of cancellation, so you can just ignore for this NAN and null values. Those clearly means that those are not cancelled orders. But you can see cancellation and a customer cancellation. So wherever you are seeing the cancellation, it means that the order was cancelled by the driver, or the order was not delivered only. And whenever you are seeing this customer cancellation, so it means that the driver could deliver the order, but the customer only cancelled the order and that order was not delivered. So this is the brief onto this particular data set. Now there are hell lot of information into this particular sheet, because as you can see, all of these sheets are interconnected to each other in some or the other way, and we will be exploring this particular thing only. I have different type of questions from easy level to hard level problem, what you can expect into the real interviews. So we will be solving and exploring this particular data set. So friends, let us quickly move to our SSMS, where I have imported exactly the same data set as you were seeing earlier. So the total number of data sets I am having here is 6. So I will be simply executing all of these queries. So you can see all of these are running, and I have imported exactly the same data sets into this particular sheet. Also you can see here the distance in kilometers are included, minutes are included into the duration column. Now one more thing is, apart from all of the portfolio projects which we have done earlier, they were onto a clean data. I did not do any cleaning or processing of the data, but into this particular project, this will be a very important project from the data cleaning perspective also. As you can see, the data is very much dirty, lot of null values, NaN values are present, so we need to do something here and there to handle all of these different values, so that we are able to explore our data or do the data analytics task. So we need to do the data cleaning also, so we will be exploring that part of SQL into this particular portfolio project also. And the 4 different main parts we will be exploring into this particular project. So the number one part would be the role metrics. So I have various questions onto the roles which were prepared, which were ordered, which were delivered by Faaso. So I have all of these different questions where we'll be playing around all these data, and we will be exploring the role metrics. The second part is the driver and the customer experience. The third part is the ingredient optimization, and the last part is the pricing and the ratings. We will be calculating, or we will be solving various level of different type of problems. Some of the problems will definitely force you to think, and you will feel like, okay, you are solving some kind of advanced level problem into this portfolio project. So friends, let us not waste much time. I have given all the information which was required for you to start this particular project. You can just find the code which is present here attached into the description box of this video, and you can follow me along this particular project, or do as you like. You can just rewatch this video again and again but I would recommend you to watch each and every part of this video. Do not please skip any part of this video, because each of the thing is very much important and are interconnected to each other. You can, as you would see, like the data set was quite heavy and various data sets are present, so you might lose at some or the other part, but I would recommend you to watch this video till the very end. And also don't forget to hit the like button if you would find this video quite useful. So friends, without wasting much time, let us first of all quickly move over the very first problem. So the very first problem it is written here is how many roles were ordered. So how many roles were ordered, we need to get this information. I will execute this query. Here we need to provide the information of how many roles were ordered. So definitely the order information is present into the customer orders table we will be tackling upon, so which is the column which I am concerned of. So I am concerned of, I want to know how many roles were ordered. So into a order, as you will see, there is the same order, but the customer has ordered 2 roles. So we would not count the order ID. It is not as much simple as it looks. We want to know how many roles were ordered in total. So definitely counting of order ID won't work here, and we will be needing to count the number of roles which were ordered. So into each of the row, you can see for order ID as 3, you can see 2 roles were ordered, or roll number as 1 and also roll number as 2 were ordered here. So we want to get the information of the total number of roles which were ordered. So it is simple, but the question was little bit tricky in nature. You would need to like think it into a deeper way. So it will be simply count star from, or let's say count of role ID, because each of the row it contains the information about a single role which was placed into any order. So if you want to know how many roles were ordered, so it is simply means that number of rows which is present into the data set, as you can see here below. So friends, so it will be select count of role ID from, we will be giving the table name. So the table name is customer underscore orders. So customer underscore orders. That is simple. Let us execute the query. So you can see 14 roles were ordered till now. So this was a very simple level problem we will be starting. Let us quickly move on to the second problem which is mentioned here. Second problem is how many unique customer orders were made. So we want to know how many unique customers who had order like from our roles. So I want to know total number of unique customers who have ordered. So this is also pretty much simple. From all of these customer IDs, which the column you can see here, I just want to count the distinct customers, total number of customers who have ordered our roles. So it will be simple. So it will be select, it will be count of distinct, and what is the column which will be counting. So we'll be counting onto the customer ID column from customer orders. Let us execute this. So you can see there are 5 unique customers who have ordered any role onto the Faaso. Like this is a very small data set, but in real case, real scenario, definitely the data set will be huge. It will have crores, millions of rows. But into this project, this is a very simple data exploration task where we are focusing on learning SQL skills, analytical skills. Let us move to the third problem. So we want to know how many successful orders were delivered by each of the driver. So here they are concerned of the successful orders. They don't want to get the total orders. They just want to know successful orders. So as you can see, 2 of our orders, they were cancelled. So otherwise all of these orders, they were definitely ordered, because if the order was cancelled, it would have been mentioned either cancelled by the driver, or simple cancellation, that means cancelled by the driver, or customer cancellation, that means that the order was cancelled by the customer. But we want to calculate how many successful orders were delivered by each of the driver. So for each of the driver, what was the total successful orders which were delivered. So here we need to get the driver ID first of all, and we want to count the number of Let's say we want to count the number of distinct order ID from this particular table, which is driver underscore order. And if we want to know total number of orders which were delivered by each of the driver, we need to group by onto the basis of the driver ID. Definitely. Let us execute the code. This will give the information of the total number of successful orders which were delivered by each of the driver. But you could see that we have also included the cancelled orders. We need to remove them. If I would execute this code, you can see 2 of the orders, they were cancelled. So we need to mention a filter condition. So filter condition would come up here, because where clause into the order of execution of the SQL, the where happens before the group by. So it will first of all filter out all of these, like the non-cancelled orders, and then group by, then execute the code. So this is how the order of execution works into the SQL. So here we need to only calculate about the successful orders. So we need to provide a filter condition where cancellation, so we'll be applying the filter onto the cancellation not in. So there are 2 different type of cancellations, as you can see. So this is the very first type. I'll copy paste, put this into as a string. Similarly, I would copy paste this, put this into the strings, close the bracket. Now you can see here, okay, this is fine. And at the last, I will be grouping by onto the basis of the driver ID, so that I could get like the total number of successful orders which were delivered by the driver. So I want to get this information. So let us execute the code here. So you can see here I am getting, for each of the driver, I am getting like total number of successful orders which were delivered by each of the driver. So friends, this was also a kind of simple level problem. Let us quickly jump over to the next problem. How many of each type of role was delivered? So by each type of role, we mean the non-veg role and the veg role. So we want to get this information. We want to know how many each type of roles were delivered. So you can see here we'll be using the, let's say, the driver order information, because we want to know, like, we are only concerned with the roles which were delivered, not the roles which were ordered. So we are not considered with the orders, we are considered with the final thing, whether the order was delivered or not, successfully delivered or not. So we are only concerned with those orders. So friends, here what we need to do, so here we need to first of all filter out the data for only the, let's say, only the roles which were delivered. So I'll just put here select star from, and the table name is driver underscore order where, and I will just copy this thing because it is exactly the same thing which we want. We don't want the orders which were cancelled, we only want the orders which were successfully delivered. So friends, let us execute this particular code. So you can see we are getting 5 rows. Like, we'll just cross verify if this was the output which we wanted. So I'll just do a select star from driver order. We are only concerned with the orders which were delivered. So I'll just execute the code here. So you can see here 10 rows data are present, and here I'm just getting 5 rows data. According to our logic, we should have got at like 8 rows, because only 2 orders are cancelled, and this is all happening because might be due to these null values it is not able to recognize, and these null values we are not getting. Now friends, this is all about the real data. Like this actually happens. The real data is not so much simple. You can see it is able to recognize these empty spaces, but it is not able to recognize these null values which is present. And here comes the data cleaning part. We need to process our data somehow. We need to make our data pretty much clean so that it can be used for further processing. So let us see how to do this. We would for cancellation orders, we will be, let's say, replacing with certain alphabet or digits, and for all the other orders we will be putting as some other alphabets, or so that we are able to recognize like which were the orders which were cancelled and which were the orders which were not cancelled. Let us see how to do this. Let us see, clean this particular data. So I'll just do a select star comma. I will be using the case when statement. As I mentioned, for all the cancelled orders we will be replacing with certain, let's say, certain command or certain anything will be mentioning this. So I'll just write a case when cancellation. I'll be mentioning this cancellation in right now will be considering in. So I want to, so whenever the cancellation, the order is cancelled, then so case in cancellation, in cancellation or customer cancellation, then you can just mention here cancellation, else I'll just mention here is as not cancellation, end as I'll just mention this order cancel details. So I'll just rename this column from driver underscore order. That's it. Let us execute the code here. So you can see here these two orders, they were cancelled and we are getting a C, and all the other orders which were not cancelled we are getting a NC. And this is, and friends, this is how we have solved this particular problem. So let us quickly move forward, and we are only concerned with the orders which were not cancelled. So I'll put this into a subquery and I'll only get the data for the orders which were not cancelled. So where order cancel details is equal to NC. I'll just mention the, let us execute the command. We should be getting 8 rows. So we are getting 8 rows as you can see here, and this is the data which we wanted. So we have got the data for all the orders which were successfully delivered. Now we want to know how many rows were delivered. So if you would quickly see, there is no information on what is the role the driver is delivering. There is just the information for the order ID, which order ID information or the order ID the driver has picked. It is, there is no information on what role contains into that particular order. So we need to somehow get the role information also, like for that order which role was being delivered. So we need to get this information. Let us see how to do this. So if you would quickly see from this customer orders table, we were having this information which I'm telling right now. I'll just do a select star from customer orders and I'll execute the code. So you can see here for order ID, it is clearly mentioned like what was the role which were delivered. So friends, we can solve this particular problem through many ways. Let us quickly see like how we can solve this problem through the easiest way. So from this select star from customers order, we will just mention here, or let us see what is the output which we are getting. So instead of star, let us get the order ID, only the orders which were successfully delivered, in the order information which was successfully delivered. And I'll be using this order IDs which you can see here, and I'll be using this particular order ID for this particular command. So all these order ID information I'll give you. So select star from customers order, where I'll mention your order ID in, and I'll put this into a sub bracket, and that's all is what we require. Let us execute the code. So friends, we are only getting the information for the orders which were successfully delivered by the delivery agent. So that is the information which is present here. Let us quickly verify if that is the case which is happening right now. Let's execute the command. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 is not mentioned, and 9 is not mentioned, as you could see here. So I'll just quickly execute the code. So you can see 6 is not mentioned here and 9 is not mentioned here. So definitely we are getting the information for all the orders which were successfully delivered. Now from this particular data, we want to get the information of the number, like type of role and the number of times it was ordered. For example, role ID as 1, like how many times this is ordered. Role ID as 2, how many times this is ordered. So with this, we want this particular information here. So let us do this. So I'll just mention here role ID comma, I'll mention here count of role ID from, and we have mentioned this from customer orders, and at the very last we need to group by onto the basis of the role ID. That's all is required here. Let us execute the code. So for example, you can see role ID as 1 was ordered 9 times, role ID as 2 was ordered 3 times. So friends, this is how we are solving the problem where we need to calculate the number of type of roles which were delivered. So this was a kind of trick level problem where you were just need to filter out the total number of successful orders which were delivered. We are only concerned with those orders. Let us move to the 5th number problem here. So here we want to know how many veg and non-veg rolls were ordered by each of the customer. So this is also a very interesting problem. So for each customer, let's say or customer ID as 1, how many veg rolls the customer has ordered, how many non-veg rolls the customer has ordered. Now here we just want to play upon the number of orders which were processed by the customers. We are not concerned of the whether the order was successfully delivered or not. We are only concerned whether the order is placed. So we will be taking into account that particular data. So I'll just do here a simple select star from customer order. That's it, and I'll just execute the code here. We'll see what type of data we have, and we want to calculate how many veg and non-veg roles were ordered by each of the customer. So here we would be requiring the customer ID, then we need to get the role ID, and we need to count. Let's say we'll just count the role ID only from customer ID, and at the very last we would be grouping by onto the basis of the customer ID and the role ID to get the information of the total number of veg and the non-veg roles which were ordered by each of the customer. Let us execute this code. So you can see here customer ID as 1, the role ID as 1, the customer ID has ordered 2 times. Similarly for customer ID as 104, the role ID as 1, it was ordered 3 times. Here we are not getting a clear information whether the role is a veg role or a non-veg role. So to get that information, we can simply do one thing. We can just write here select a dot star comma b dot, and we will be using this particular thing which is the select star from roles. Role name will be using here to get the information of what type of role was that from A, and we'll perform a inner join role A dot role id is equal to b dot role id. Let us execute the code. I'll just rename this as cnt count, otherwise let's execute the code. So you can see here we are getting information on the total number of non-veg role which was ordered by the customer id as 101. Similarly, total number of veg roles which were ordered by the customer id as 101. So you can see 101 and 101, and the information for veg role, non-veg role is mentioned here. Now this is a critical information, as we can get to know like which is preferable role for each of the customer who are ordering onto our website. So this can be a very critical information for any company, especially Faaso, who deals into the role. So friends, let us quickly move to the next problem. And the next problem says, what was the maximum number of roles delivered in a single order? So earlier, as I had mentioned, that we can like a number of different roles can be present into a certain order. So this is the information which they want. So I just want to get this information from customer orders, select star from customer orders. So if you could see the same order id, it is having two roles. So that is the information we want to count like the total number of maximum roles which were ordered into a single order. So here we need to get the information onto the delivery information. So basically we should have used the driver table instead of the customer table, but we can definitely use the customer table only. I'll just let you know why. Let's execute this code. So into driver order, we have the information of the successful orders which were delivered, and we are only concerned with the orders which were delivered. As you can see here, what was the maximum number of roles delivered in a single order. So we should remove all the orders where the orders were cancelled either by the customer or by the driver. We should remove all such orders first of all, and then we will be later processing all the other data points. So to remove those orders, I'll be using the same thing here. I'll be copying the code from here. This will give the information of all the orders which were not cancelled. So the order IDs which were not cancelled, and from here I'll just be filtering out or giving a filter. So select star from customer orders where order ID in. So I'll just mention here just execute the code. So you can see we are getting the information of all the orders which were delivered, and from this particular data we want to know like what is the maximum number of roles delivered in a single order. So to get the information of the number of maximum roles which were delivered into a single order, we should definitely get the first of all get the information of the total number of roles which were being delivered into a particular order, and then only we can get to know like the maximum number of roles which were delivered into a single order. So let us do this. So here I'll be doing a select order ID and count of role ID from this, and the last I'll be grouping by onto the basis of the order ID to calculate the total number of roles which were being delivered into a particular order. So you can see here for each order I am getting the roles which were delivered. Now to get the information on the maximum number of roles which were delivered, we can use the rank function to rank on the basis of this particular column here. So I'll just present this into a subquery star comma rank over and there's no partitions to be created. We just want to order onto the basis of the count into the descending order from this. That's all is required. I'll just execute the code. So you can see I'm getting the rank here, but we are only concerned with the order ID with rank is equal to 1, because we are only concerned with the maximum number of roles which were delivered into a single order. So I'll again present this into a subquery here. First of all, I'll just write here where rank is equal to 1, and then I'll just mention this select star from, and I guess the query will be able to execute the query. So you can see here order ID as 4. The total number of roles which were ordered into this particular order ID was 3, so that is why it is getting a rank 1. So we are able to get to know like what was the maximum number of roles which were delivered into a single order. So this particular information we are getting like this.